We love hip hop.
Let's do this. The music industry is losing to streamers.
Good.
Okay. Now this is like artist, the interest in an artist, people being interested in even hearing artists speak, even as a content creator myself, right?
Yeah.
And like doing interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
I have to be very selective on the interviews that I do for like the business standpoint, because not everybody wants to hear from rappers anymore. All right?
Do you want me to answer that a little bit, or
I'll play a clip and then it'll help you shape your opinion a little bit more.
Okay.
Courtesy of academics.
They care less and less about the artist. Now, granted, for example, NBA YoungBoy. If NBA YoungBoy comes back, like he has a core audience very invested in his life. And there are certain artists, Cardi, core audience very invested in his music and life. But if you're not one of those artists that have that foundation, bro, people really don't give a f. So if you're not dropping the hottest song, marketing as it used to be doesn't work anymore. Like doing an interview and even talking about, when these artists go do their press run, they're talking about everything they've been in the media for and other things. And, so what type of, what do you like to do when you're not recording music? And they give you some nonchalant answer. Okay, so, it's like I've seen Charlamagne ask this question. So have you seen a therapist? Like, right, like people don't give a fuck about that. And unfortunately, I believe that's because music is competing with all of the other ways of how people are consuming content. Yes, you're competing with speed. Aiden, Kai Cenat, the FaZe Clan, myself, and everybody else in terms of attention into what you got going on. In Fousey Tube, whatever. And that's kind of very interesting because I don't know how music...
So basically, to sum it up, like, an artist can go do an interview these days and people might not care about it as much as maybe hearing us talk about the story about them. I literally interviewed artists and their story about them has more views than their interview.
Yeah. These rappers are boring too.
That can be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Unless the person comes in and they're like mad entertaining. Yeah. Like a top 5, right?
Yeah, but even him, he was not to diss him, but he was entertaining for the week.
Yes.
By next week, another story has come and taken over that story.
Yes. But if he does an interview, he's so entertaining. He's one of those guys that when the camera's on, he's going to entertain.
For sure.
That he's not going to answer the questions in a dry way. We're not just going to talk about, so how was your musical process in the studio and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? He's going to turn up and then a million people are going to want to watch it. They're going to clip parts of the interview, stuff like that. Yeah. There's not a lot of people who are like that, artist-wise. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then other than that, like, unless they haven't spoken, like Drake, everybody's tapping into the Drake interview. Yeah, they want to hear what he has to say. Yeah. He hasn't spoken in years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like, if Drake was somebody who's doing interviews every month or every album cycle, it might not hit the same in these days and times.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like when we get going back to like Jaguar Wright, she's doing them so consistently that it now starts to sound fabricated. So it's not as interesting. Every time I hear it, it's the same story over and over, just maybe a little twist. Then she adds another person's name in, gives it a little controversy. So I feel what you're saying, but when it comes to like now the stories, you're right. But like I said, whatever happens to them in the present time is good for the week. Now they gotta lay low. And then you come back to the media, and you're like, then the media is asking you, "Yo, what happened? Where were you?" That's where the story now becomes interesting again.
But which media? Because, bringing it back to 5 again, he went on a live stream because the streamers are popping. Yeah. Aiden Ross, academics, that's popping. An interview, even though as an interviewer. And I'm going to continue interviewing people. The only way an interview is going to be popping is if the artist turns up in the interview. Other than that, you found out a bunch of stuff in the interview, cool, then you move on. You know what I'm saying? It's not as clippable as somebody getting on a live stream and going crazy. And anything can happen live. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like the game's changing now, bro. Like he was like Ak was going through the Breakfast Club's number and like how their interviews are not doing as crazy as they used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Because people don't want to just hear an artist talk for an hour.
Nah, I don't. A lot of them are boring.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They got to be talking some real for me to be like, okay, I'm tuned into this guy for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he's speaking about what he's learned in his come up, or like it's just not all about shooting opportunists and you know what I'm saying? Opportunities and you know what I'm saying?
That's you, fam. I feel like the audience, like the mainstream people, they don't want to hear about a person talking about their music and stuff like that. They want that person to get on camera, say, the ops, this is who I hate. Give us a moment.
Hold on.
Maybe some furniture get moved.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say that's me. I just said that's what sometimes these people like to see, right? Because you asked me a question on the story. And I say enough of the rappers are boring.
Yeah.
Right? So whether they're making up these stories or not, they got to have the common sense to come into the spot and be like, yo, my ops today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got to come in with that for me to be like, oh, yeah, that's the timing he's on. All right, let me listen to the rest of this guy.
Yeah.
Now you start to know, oh, yo, when he's like, oh, I got bullet holes here. I got bullet holes here. If you look around the back over here, I got another one here. I've been shot in my ass twice. Yo, boom, I'm tuned in.
I'm watching that interview. And unfortunately, like this is where we are because I don't want to conduct those kind of interviews. I don't want to talk about, oh, who's your ops? You know what I'm saying? Because then people are going to be like, yo, you're inciting the violence. Yeah. However, like, do you guys want to see us just talk about, yo, so how do you pick your beats?
Slightly. But coming from a place like Canada, slightly.
To the world where people are like watching stuff and watching content and what's high viewed content. Like, for example, a Charleston White interview does better than the average rapper's interview now.
Damn right.
Because Charleston White's going to get on there and talk some shit. You're going to be able to clip out maybe 10 moments that can go all over social. You know what I'm saying? He gets into his character. You know what I mean? His voice is amped. Yeah, like
hell nah.
There's content out of that. You're not getting the same out of like some mumbling rapper who's just chilling. He don't barely want to talk. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not seeing as much unless the rapper's saying some wild shit. We're not seeing them on our timeline as much.
No.
But we'll see Charleston White. We'll see Jaguar Wright. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see like a lot of people who have big voices who don't actually even make music anymore like that. No. Or at all.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they're exposing the rap game. A lot of rappers are not being who they say they are.
I think it goes back to what you're saying with the rappers being boring in interviews. And interviews themselves, the structure of them might have to be changing over the next few years where you're seeing more content that's like animated or interactive even. Like, yes, you could interview that person in a pre-recorded or we can go live.
And in the moment.
And in the moment at some place and then respond to the chat. You know what I'm saying? And answer the questions that the people are asking you in real time because we're in a time now, bro. We're almost at 2025, bro.
I know.
Time is moving fast. Technology, our attention span, whether it's getting bigger or smaller, it's changing. It's not getting bigger or smaller. It's changing to the way that we consume shit.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not getting smaller. People will watch these guys stream for 8 hours.
Yeah, even if they fall asleep and come back to it.
Yes. So the attention span's not getting smaller. It's just changing for what people are interested in.
Faster, actually.
Yes. Like, if you can watch Aiden Ross for 5 hours, I don't think you have a short attention span. But he's doing things that keep you interested. You know, he'll play a game for an hour. Then he's going to go talk to this person. And then this other guy is going to come into the room.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go on Discord with this person. Like, this, it's interactive. And then, what do you guys want me to do next?
And then he'll chuck a little beef to someone.
Yeah.
He'll say something out of the ordinary.
Bro,
I get it.
Just even me explaining that sounds so much more dynamic and captivating than watching a 45-minute interview with a rapper.
I'll tell you the truth, man. I don't watch a lot of interviews with these rappers. You rather watch it in like a Vlad style where he's telling you about some stuff that's happened to him.
Yeah, or the clips that they have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
like it's kind of weird, bro. Like,
no, it's not.
Well, fam, I used to watch bare like $1 million worth of game interviews. I used to watch the full Drink Champs interviews and stuff like that. But if you're only interview based, like if we were only interview based, like We Love Hip Hop, one, there would be way less episodes. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't get to have us giving our point of view on topics and all that. Yeah. And a lot of those do better than interviews.
So, well, we might have to switch it up a little bit.
I'm just saying, I'd never want to stop doing interviews because that's a gateway to, this is how you find out about this person, new artist, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But it could be still the same way on a live. You still ask the person the same thing, and now he in the live, right then and there, you'd be like, oh man, I can't believe you're asking me this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you would see his or her reaction at that time. And that's the best thing, man.
Yeah. That's why these artists are doing like e-dates and all that type of shit. And those are getting more traction than them sitting and doing an interview. Yeah. Or if like Salute to Moolah first. When he does an interview, it's always a spectacle.
Yeah.
He has to, it's not just going to be him answering questions like, yeah, this is where I grew up. It's going to be him getting into Moolah final boss mode. You know, the one with the man holding up the pictures from Keep Six. Like, it's going to be, we have to do something because just sitting there talking, it's not going to fly, bro.
It's not going to fly anymore.
I feel like I'm in a scary place even talking about it on air, but like, we might start seeing some changes in the next few years on the way that the content is coming out on We Love Hip Hop.
Yeah, let's curve it. Let's curve it from now.
Well, there's still an interview dropping next week, but you know what I'm saying?
It's cold turkey stop. Now you gotta bring the man to
no more interviews.
Bring the man to me. He sits right here. Let me interrogate his ass.
Listen, man. It might have to be like a turned up process every time if you guys want all the interviews to have thousands and thousands of views.
Yeah.
Like Honcho Hoodlum, he can pull up. Hoodlum hasn't dropped music in a while.
Yeah.
He could pull up tomorrow. He's gonna get bare views because the way he turns up and the way people like to hear about his point of view on shit.
Yeah.
Who cares if you drop your music, bro? Talk to us.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we at now, fam. Like people just want to hear the people
who want to talk.
Who want to talk and talk that shit when they talk.
Then it relates back to the music though too. If you want to go and drop a tune now, you can drop one record a year.
Yeah.
It will make more sense.
I think even with artists now with their game plan, they might even have to start becoming more animated or find different ways of doing content and then dropping less music so that like they're getting a return on their investment, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that too.
Yeah. But yeah, man, salute to the artists out there and the streamers, man.
Oh, for sure.
I think we could wrap it up there.
We love hip hop.